I was listening to Mike and Edwin do a live stream where they were looking at Lone Star. So 2 points. I thought to myself, I wonder why they don't give the link to JDA and Jon Malin. Those guys always have something interesting to say. Then I remembered that they are fighting over the time Jon Malin rode his dragon into their village, raped all the horses before eating the babies and burning the village to ashes. Then Jon Malin urinated on the ashes, and so did his dragon. JDA and Mike Miller had to hide in a sewer while they watched Malin rape his livestock. Lucky for them that they escaped with their lives. I guess that is why they are fighting, because of those unforgivable war crimes. I don't blame them for not speaking like reasonable adults. If I saw Jon Malin and his dragon eat my grandma, well, I guess I wouldn't forgive that bastard either. Did I mention his dragon stole my gold, melted it down, and made a cock ring? That Jon Malin sure is a jerk. I guess Malin, Miller, and Delarose are acting reasonably, and not like petulant children who just made poopy in their pants. I think Miller may have bombed Pearl Harbor before raping Nanking, but to be fair, Malin and Ethan did visit Nagasaki and Hiroshima. I remember them saying that they wish they had more nukes so they could bomb Miller's hometown. Well, in a perfect world, Miller would do a cover for Ethan and Malin, and they would do a cover for him, because it's only horse rape and dragon cock rings. YouTube is not going to be happy with that video, but let's be honest, I am not long for YouTube. Okay, and just because I like, what's-his-face, the short guy with long hair, doesn't mean I won't criticize the Indiegogo. So let's take a look at this, the first images that you see, and take a look at what you notice is lacking. The art's fine. That's by Kanan White. That's good to kind of... What does that remind me of? The Batman shot? It reminds me of another shot in the comic. I'm sure you guys are more familiar with it. But what is missing in these great images, great drawings? Listen, sex sells. Sex appeal sells. Rock is cock. You gotta have some sizzle to sell the steak. Where the boobs? Where the tiny waists and the big butts? Where's the sex appeal? You can't just have a sausage fest. Okay, and so I come down here, I see Lone Star 1 and 2, which I guess I'll get, and maybe I'll give it away to you guys. I did want to talk about that. I got a lot of great art people have sent, but I think I got like 4 or 5 different artists, but the art is all equally good. There's no like one clear winner. It's all really good stuff. So I don't know what to do. Because I said I would send them something, like a book or something. So I could get Lone Star 1 and 2 for two. I get two for $40, and then if I have it shipped to me, I'm paying $10 for shipping. Then if I have to ship it to 2 individuals, I'm paying another $10 shipping. I guess I could get your address and just... Could I have him ship it directly to you? Ship stuff directly to you? I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Maybe have you guys... The thing is, I don't really have enough subs to do a vote count thing for people to like select a winner. I'll figure it out. Anyway, why isn't there an image for the 2? I mean, if I'm gonna support a campaign, if I come in late and I get the second book, I'm gonna get the first book too. So where's the image for the first book and the second? I mean, where's the image at all? It's just like, what is this? Is this some kid doing a campaign? Hope I'm not. And Lone Star for the Troops, there's no, it's a featured and there's no image. I hope I'm not being too harsh on this, but I'm, come on, you got to do something about it. Anyway, so if you get on YouTube and you start making videos, you better be wearing your Kevlar panties because people are rough. For example, Zach is just a nice, normal guy, not offensive at all, and there are anti-COMICSGATE people out there who would dance on his grave. Michelle Perez, who has been kicked off Twitter repeatedly and is still on Twitter, just with alt accounts, but to be fair, so have I. Mags Versagia, Mark Wade, and hundreds more Twitter commies. Now, I can understand having a difference of opinion with him over comics or films, but to hate someone who laughs at comics is surely a sign of mental illness. I can't imagine hating anyone in COMICSGATE, not even Nasser. I mean, it's just comics. I don't know how to explain the behavior of SJWs other than to say it's generations of kids who were given participation trophies. Okay. I don't know who did that. Where are the jugs? Where are the jugs? Where's... Oh, this made me laugh. He just, and so they kicked you off a Kickstarter for that. He just stomps, it breaks some dude's spine, probably breaks his neck and crushes his jaw and skull. But to be fair, the dude is a gangbanger. I thought that was very funny. Okay, so I'm going to talk about these two comics. One is good with some bad stuff, and then one is bad with all bad stuff. Someone in the live stream made the very good point that there are too many live streams. It's Thursday night, and there are a half dozen COMICSGATE associated live streams simultaneously going. The big one has over 500, and there are some smaller ones with less than 20 people in it. Well, there isn't much buying power when the audience is that small. I'm just spitballing here, so don't jump down my throat. But wouldn't it be better to combine the... It's like, oh, Bianca, you must be new to social media if you think people aren't going to jump down your throat. Wouldn't it be better to combine the smaller shows, say 3 to 4, into one show? I mean, if they're doing different topics, I get it. But a lot of these live streams are pretty loose. They're just basically shooting the breeze and trying to sell their books. They'd be better off getting together and doing a Jack show type thing where they rotate through each other's channels to give everyone a fair shot. StreamYards allows 6 people, but there is a way to use OBS to get a few more on there. In my opinion, live streams work well with a dozen people because there are always going to be people who talk less. Chaos works better for YouTube. The sweet spot is like 8 to 12 because then you can find people who mesh with each other. Keep in mind that they don't have to like each other. Doug TenNapel and Cecil are good because they both argue, and it is very entertaining to witness. You know, now that I'm criticizing Mike Miller, let me just take the gloves off a little bit here. Would you sell more comics with a hot blonde? I'm guessing hot blondes are selling a little bit more than any other group. Just throwing that out there. If you have ever, and there go 5 subs. If you've ever heard Zach and Anna together, it's great because he always interrupts, but it drives her crazy. It is very funny. Passive aggressiveness is awesome on YouTube. It's hysterical. It's good to have some friction. Echo chambers can be very boring. Looking at, no, I won't say it. All these small channels, either COMICSGATE or associated, means that people are on different pages. It's sort of a continuation of media now. Everyone's watching different networks. It's not like it was a few years ago when the top 3 or 4 networks controlled the media. There used to be a time when everyone watched Friends, which admittedly was really dumb. Now I'm watching shows with less than a dozen people because I only watch live streams now, which I guess should inspire me to start doing my own live streams where I will pretend to be outraged about Star Wars or make 100 videos about Captain Marvel. And to be fair, those movies do deserve to be ripped apart because they suck donkey balls, but you know what I'm saying. So if you're doing a small live stream, look around and see if you can combine forces and get gay together. Look at how successful the Jack Show is. They're doing it as well as EVS used to do when he had a funner show. It has changed a lot over time. Okay, 2 comics. The first is Red Sonja. It's a girl power comic, which usually I hate, but worked out really well here. So it just goes to show you that I'm not always right, which I can humbly admit, because I know that pride is a sin. Red Sonja is doing a Indiana Jones type of thing, and I'm into the story. It's moving 100 miles an hour. Then it hits the brick wall of Blonde Man Bad. Everything's effective. She's Indiana Jones, Conan, and then you get to this, and Blonde Man Bad. Blonde Man Bad. Child murderer in hell. Blonde hair. In hell. And that's when I start contemplating taking these comics to the gun range and blasting away. But of course, if that video got out, the Twitter commies would call the FBI and say I was a death threat against the comic book creators killing paper. SJWs are the type of people who would lecture a starving homeless man about his patriarchal privilege, then applaud women being stoned to death in the Middle East. Why is it when they show an evil guy, it's blonde and out of Austrian central casting? Never Asian, African, Arab, Jewish, Indian. It's a weird coincidence, but it's just a coincidence, I'm sure. Okay, next comic, which I'm sure your boy is going to cover probably today, because it's perfect for him. And the Fourth Age talked about it, but I had already read it, and I saw the Fourth Age did a little, he does these little community posts, and I think he said he rates things in modern industry and what they would have been rated. And I think he gave this a 5 out of 10 for the modern industry and not recommended. Don't even bother giving reviews 5s out of 10s. It should just be a 0 out of a 10. It's just not, it's either, I mean, comics is pretty much a binary, and I mean that you either buy it or you don't buy it. And something like this, no, you don't buy this. This is some sort of Asian power supremacy comic. No Africans or Europeans allowed because they are Untermensch and Asians are Ubermensch. Well, I am sure this comic will do well with all the Asian kids, except that they are selling it in America and it's in English. Call me crazy, and you will. But if I was selling a comic, I would use American heroes who are about 60% European and the rest are Mexican. There actually aren't that many Asians in America. Little Johnny from Poland and Juan from Guatemala don't give two shits about the people of kimchi and sushi. Johnny and Juan don't want to see Miss Sashimi Pants rescue them. They want to see themselves as the heroes. Let me let you in on a little secret, because I have Asian family. They are the most racist people on earth. Japanese, Chinese, Koreans, they all think that they are the master race. They think that most other humans are hairless monkeys. They do not all get along at all. It's like thinking the Jews and Palestinians get along because they live in the same place. So who's this comic made for? You expect American and Mexican kids to buy this? Why on earth would they? Why don't you swap characters, make a Euro power comic? You could have Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, Irish, Polish, German, Untermensch. Maybe EVS could draw the German Untermensch. Just saying. 88 pages, right? Ethan, my struggle, Van Sciver. Here's what I don't understand about their racially pure comic. Europeans and Africans do live in Asia, so why can't they be Asian superheroes? They also live in Africa, so why isn't Wakanda full of Chinese and Germans? What happened to the global village? No borders, man. Just like, tear down your fascist walls, dude. I guess you better go tell it to Israel then. And there goes some subs. You know what happens when North Koreans sneak into China? The Chinese torture them. They hang them upside down naked and beat them with sticks because that is their culture, and all cultures are equal. Get in focus. I gotta get a new phone. I will say that the low resolution of the Kindle helps me get past copyright strikes because you can't read the print. And it's just, I mean, it's good enough to show you what's going on. Anyway, this comic could have been written by Louis Farrakhan. Why is Asian racism acceptable, or Black Panther is okay? I swear, the people who work in comics are the worst people on earth. Here's where I would show pictures of Dan Slott, Mark Waid, Gail Simone. What is it about comics that cause obesity? Do comic artist pros just eat donuts all day? Shows pictures of, oh, never mind. Anyway, so Seaman shows up and blasts all over the Asians' faces. He unloads his bukkake attack over the Oriental schoolgirls, but since he is an Asian, he can't be allowed to win. So the Asians go back to their Yulon dog torture festival, where they torture dogs in China, then eat them. Some other stupid purse puppy stuff happens, but don't worry, Master Asian Race will prevail. Hey, I just thought of something. What happens when the rice warriors go to Africa and fight evil Africans? Who will the woke writers have win? Oh, Bianca, you sweet summer child. The Asians and Africans will team up to fight the Germans, who just happen to be there. F you, the end. Guys, you can email me at BiancaZombie602@gmail.com. Click the links in the description to support channel. Get a t-shirt, buy me a coffee. Ooh, whatever. Oh, yeah, this is Seaman with the eyebrows who shows up to him, you know, whatever, do his things. And this is a replacement Atlas, Agents of Atlas. I'm not that familiar with the comic, and this is only issue 1. So you got these European, Asian, unknown, European, and an African Christmas tree. What kind of costume is that? That is ridiculous. Okay, and then some people wrote in, and so these half dozen letters you see, I think this represents 100% of the letters they've received. I'm sure this issue sold 25,000, the first issue. I'm guessing issue 2, will come out next month, will sell 12,000. And by issue 6, it will probably be canceled. All right, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, or not. Check out Lone Star and all the other comics you like. You don't have to pick a side in this adult poopy pants-filled battle of 40 and 50-year-old men acting like adolescent emo bitches on their period who haven't eaten in a week. I hope no one is listening this far. All right, guys. I'll see y'all next episode.